we are live. Welcome to the Caring Caregiver Show, brought to you by Give Me a Break. Aloha, I'm Savvy, the founder of Give Me a Break, which is a nonprofit organization that is caring for caregivers. And each week we help caregivers to survive. Survive, you say, right? Why? Well, because 50% of all caregivers in the United States do not survive the person that they are caring for. So they will pass before the person they were caring for. Did you hear that statistic? 50%. That's not acceptable. We have to change that, and we're here to help caregivers to survive. So you can check it out, get more information, and of course you can register with us and fill out a caregiver intake form right on our website at GAB. Oh, let me pop that up. Oh, wow, right? GAB808.org for more information, because you know what, you guys, I know you're tired and I know you're frustrated, but take a moment to do something for you. You deserve it, and you need to survive. You know, we offer a break each week free online for you, and it's convenient, it's online, it's affordable, it's free, and we do our support sessions and provide you with a safe space every Tuesday evening at 8 p.m. Just a bunch of caregivers, just like you. Really, every caregiver just needs to get on our sessions. It connects you with community. And we're currently discussing the wellness wheel. The wellness wheel is really the wheel of how we're going to move forward. It's got all the little stops. We've already talked about physical wellness and financial wellness, and we're really spending some time right now on mental wellness, because that's super important for you. And we know that you need a positive mental state. So one of the things we're talking about is starting a gratitude jar. A lot of fun, great thing to do. You want to know more? Join our sessions, log on. You can do that again, going right to our website. Give Me a Break is supported by, we do not have grants. We do not have funding. We're just supported by your donations. So while you're there on our website, please check out, I'm going to try a new trick today, folks. Look at this. I learned something new. How cool is this? For those of you who are watching visually, I know in our podcast, you won't be able to see this, but visual, if you could. My face, which I know you're sick of seeing, but right next to me, I've got this great little flyer, and it's on screen all at the same time. So for those of you watching live, yay, how fun is this? But we do need your help, and we have our monthly donor program. So we appreciate it. It's simply $10 a month, and there's a great benefit not only to the caregiver, but also to you. And we appreciate anything you can do to help us with Give Me a Break and support us in that way, because then you're doing something to make a difference for a caregiver. All right, and then watch, I take it off. How cool was that? All right, so the Caregiver Show is sponsored, brought to you by Giver's Guide, but sponsored by Give Me a Break, backwards. Let's rewind. I feel like Willy Wonka. Rewind, playback. The Caring Caregiver Show is brought to you by Give Me a Break and sponsored by Giver's Guides. Giver's Guides is I get to do this one more time. I guess I should have left it up because I can go like this. There we go. Is your giver's guide to caregiving. All of the articles in there are written by caregivers for caregivers. Right now we have our men's health issue. So go to giversguides.com, get your subscription, get locked in. Make sure you get all the information you can right from our magazine. And it's an online magazine, so it's a great thing. You can take it with you anywhere you go. You don't have to carry a paper magazine around with you. And of course, all profits go to Give Me a Break. All right, so enough of that. There we go. Today is June 7th. Whew, and it is our first episode of season 9. I'm super excited, you guys. And I'm super excited, caregivers, because to celebrate, we are also not only in season 9, but we are, that's right, streaming on 9 platforms simultaneously. We are going to do everything we can to reach every caregiver out there and assure that you are not alone, that you have support, and that you can get connected to some of the best resources out there. Whew, it's going to be a great season. I'm really, really excited. So we're streaming on 5 different Facebook pages, 2 Facebook groups, our 2 YouTube channels, our LinkedIn, and of course, right here on StreamYard. So welcome. And I hope that you're watching from somewhere, or I hope that you get to see this later. And please spread the word. let a caregiver know that we're here for you. So it is June. Happy Pride Month. And also happy Alzheimer's. Well, not happy, but Alzheimer's and Brain Awareness Month. And this one hits home for me because you all know my mother's in hospice right now in her final stage of dementia, and it's been a long journey. So it's an important month for us to recognize all of these brain diseases that happen to not just older people, but believe it or not, you guys, there's childhood dementia as well. So this is a scary thing. So let's all support any cause we can this month. And of course, it's Men's Health Month. And so that's why our Giver's Guides issue is really focused on men's health. There's even an article about skincare for men. That's right. You need that. It's all with essential oil, so it's all natural and not all foo-foo-y, right? And you can get everything you need to make yourself be healthy. It's all about wellness. This past Sunday also was National Cancer Survivor Day. My mother is a breast cancer survivor. And with National Cancer Survivor Day, there's really about 18 million cancer survivors just in the U.S. And my cousin last year did succumb to cancer. So for all of those who did survive, we need to celebrate the caregivers that stood at their side and helped them. And to my cousin's husband, I send out a shout to you for all that you did to help her, though she didn't survive. She's still in our hearts. And so great job, Masaaki, for taking care of my cousin. Got a little emotional today. I'm really excited about being in season 9. Can you tell? All right. So we want to always celebrate that, but we also want to go and just give a hug to a cancer survivor caregiver, and let them know that what they did was amazing. All right. Let's get on with the show. I'm talking way too much. So without further ado, this is my Medicare year, folks. And I know that I want to make sure I don't make any mistakes. And so today we have a very special guest on who's going to talk about some of the most costly 10. There's a book that he wrote called 10 of the Most Costly Mistakes You Can't Afford to Make. And so I'm really excited. He's a corporate and individual Medicare speaker, and also a Medicare trainer, consultant, and of course, the author, as I just mentioned. And he really specializes in Medicare plans and represents the nation and regional carriers. He really does offer his clients a comprehensive menu of plans and works with national companies licensed in the United States. Also, his agency is a one-stop shop for clients, and we all love that, right? And assigns expert sales agents to handle their Medicare concerns. Please, everyone, welcome to the show today. It's our honor to have Al Kushner on the show.
Great.
Aloha,
nice to be here.
Al. Welcome.
Aloha.
Welcome.
Great.
I'm so happy to have you here, and I'm so excited to talk with you because I don't want to make any mistakes because the Medicare system is so hard to navigate. And I love that that's what you do. But before we go on, I always ask our guests to share, if any, their caregiver story. So have you got a caregiving story?
Well, in terms of from a Medicare perspective, I mean, in terms of people, personal. Well, I mean, I would say my sister had probably a number of ailments. She was born without a hip, and she had various hip surgeries throughout her life, and always been someone that has been, in and out of hospitals and doctors. And I would say that I've learned early on in life to value one's health, because you really can't take it for granted. And that's really what I've been very proactive in doing that and trying to, be healthy. And, but seeing that's not always the case, you try to, try to adjust to things that normally that you wouldn't think of, but other people have challenges that they can't do. So I was really, from an early age, exposed to that, and value, the people who are caregivers, I would say, who are doing this amazing job of trying to deal with this 24/7. And this was
Yeah.
always something that is what I understood early in life. So yeah.
Yes. And
Yep.
I really believe that we're all caregivers in so many ways. And being a caregiver to your sister really does. It changes the way you see things. And so you had to grow up with that, and it really grew in you a compassion, a caregiver compassion that we always look for. And this is why I always love when people share their stories, because I think it's so important for us to see that we're all connected in so many ways, and we all do have that caregiving heart. So thank you for sharing that. I really appreciate it.
Sure.
But tell me about, what are these? You don't have to tell us the whole thing, but gosh,
Hmm.
just tell me one mistake. What's one mistake I'm going to make? I know I'm going to make it.
Very simple. It's called procrastination. Okay.
Ah,
And that's what happens, because the fact is that 65 creeps up on you real fast. I mean, as soon as you turn 64, I mean, you forget about things, and you really got to, take charge. You got to register with Social Security, and find out, what is needed, and get registered so you can be alerted, for Medicare, and make the process, more easier to do, because a lot of times my clients are situations where it's last minute, or they're past the certain threshold because life happens, you know.
right.
But problem is, then when life happens, you have penalties, which are lifetime if you don't do something about it. And that's really a problem that people don't understand. And they really need to be, understand that if you don't do something, the government will step in and penalize you for not doing anything about it. So
Wow.
yeah, and that's doesn't go away either. So
Well, and
yeah.
I'm doing that, right? I say to myself, this is my year, this is my year. And now it's June, and I'm realizing, boy, I need to get on the ball here, and I need to get registered with Social Security. I need to get on the ball, and I can see how it happens. And I mean, I am still caregiving currently as well. So time and days can just kind of float by without you realizing it. So,
Yep.
yes, that procrastination, super. Okay, you guys, there you go. You get that one. That's a freebie. But I am just blown away that there are penalties
Yep.
and that
And
they are lifetime.
lifetime, yeah, 10%, I believe, each year for
Oh
you
my
not
goodness.
signing up for Medicare. But again, not everyone has to sign up for Medicare, because sometimes there are people who work or are still working in groups of the 20 or greater.
Mhm.
So they are able to postpone that. But it's also important to note that you should have, when you do decide to go into Medicare, a letter from your employer of credible evidence, so you're able to go and join Medicare without providing any type of pre-existing conditions. That is something that is important. So when you are getting on to Medicare, you're guaranteed to be accepted. The insurance companies do not have to give you any exams or anything. It's just something that it's a great time to do that. So if you have a lot of pre-existing conditions, which caregivers may have, this is something where you can join in and be able to be accepted, and that's huge benefit.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
that is a huge
tremendous.
benefit. Yes.
So take advantage of it when you're able to do that.
Yeah, I agree. That's great advice. And what else would you like to share with us? Knowing that our audience is most made up of caregivers, and so caregivers are are dealing with Medicaid or Medicare in so many ways, not just for themselves as they're aging to it, but also for the one they care for. So, what are some things maybe that you could just share as far as that's concerned? I know there's a
Well,
lot.
yeah, I would say that there are plans available to help with the cost of Medicare Part B premiums. They can qualify for, like Medicaid, and there are certain state programs. So you should always check what's available. We have resources in my book that you can reach out to, particularly for those who are on medications that could be expensive, and they
Yes.
are able to get grants and other ways to offset the cost. I think that's something that you should take advantage of, because it's free, but people don't know about it.
That's
So
a
you
big one.
really need to do them. So I have listed that in my book to help people understand where to go and the websites. And I think that's a really important to do to help maintain quality of life. You got to, sometimes it's a matter of, do I eat or do I take my medications? And that shouldn't be that option. You should always be able to treat yourself first, and but people don't know that's available. So that would be important.
We talk about that, right? Knowledge is power. I mean, we have so many actually are homeless in Hawaii, and I mean, homeless everywhere, but homeless in Hawaii is a large part of our homeless in Hawaii are becoming more and more what we call here our kupuna, which is our older ones, our elderly. And, they're being priced out of paradise is what's being said, right? And so they're not able to find housing. And a lot of it is because they're paying for that medication to keep alive, but they can't even get a roof over their head. So there's this vicious circle of things that are going on. So knowledge like that in your book is phenomenally important. And I hear it all the time from our caregivers. My parents don't have the money for their medication. I don't know what to do. And so what a great resource. You guys, please get the book. 10 Medicare mistakes, right? And in fact, the full title is, I want to get this right. What was that? The full title is Virtual Medicare, 10 Costly Mistakes You Can't Afford to Make, right? And they can go to your website, which is on the screen, info@Real Easy Medicare. That's so cool. I love that. Real Easy Medicare, you guys, .com. Or you can just call 888-810-9725. I'm going to say it one more time for those who listen on podcast later, 888-810-9725. So
the book is also available on Amazon and other retailers. So it's available in print and audiobook too. So those who are, having problems vision-wise, it gives them an option. And in Spanish too. We do have for the Spanish community. So that is a nice option, which is very rare, I would say,
that's
for
a
books.
plus. Yes.
So that's helpful. So,
Well, awesome. That's great. I'm so happy that you came on and shared that with us, because I know, and I can tell you I hear it all the time. So you guys don't procrastinate, get the book and definitely check out the resources that are in it, because that's going to help you get through that system. So whether or not, you're going to choose to have Al and his team help you with Medicare or somebody locally, it doesn't matter. The bottom line is get the book so you have knowledge, get knowledge, and knowledge is power for you, and it'll make all the difference in the world. But if Al's here and he can help you, and he's a great guy, and so glad you came on the show and that you're talking to us with our caregivers. So thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you.
Really appreciate it. Aloha.
Aloha. Thank you. Sure. Bye-bye.
Wow. So I'm not going to emphasize mahalo again to Al Kushner for sharing your story. And of course, for helping us with some guidance through a really tough system. You guys, Medicare, I don't know why it's so hard for us to kind of get all that there, but that's why there's so many agencies out there who can help you, so many people who can help you. And again, you want a one-stop shop? There you go. Contact Al and his team. And I'm going to say it again. It's info@realeasymedicare.com, or just call 888-810-9725. Okay. Wow. That was eye-opening for me. I need to get on the ball. And again, so just to get back to Givers Guides magazine, the June is Men's Mental Health Month. I'm sorry, it's June. It's Men's Health Month. You see what happens when Savvy gets about a month or two off and she gets all tongue-tied. Here I'm back again. Let's try this and take two. June is Men's Health Month. And so the Giver's Guides issue is really dedicated just to you gentlemen out there and caregivers. And I want you to know this is for the sons, the grandsons, the spouses, the dads. There are 40% of the caregiving workforce out there are all of you men who are devoting yourself to care for so many. And I know I've talked to a lot of caregivers that one of the toughest ones, of course, is when a son is taking care of their mom. It's really tough. And when bath time comes and toileting time comes, that's a tough thing. And we actually address that in some articles in this month's magazine. So check it out. You'll need to hear that. Go to our website, giversguides.com. Get subscribed. It's only $24.99 for a whole year. You get 12 issues for that. So worth the spend, so you can curl up with that on your phone, on your iPad, or even on your laptop. And that'll help you get through this month and every month to follow. At least you're connected to some resources. And again, we're here to promote wellness. So get well, no matter what you identify as. We're dedicating this issue to the men who are caregiving, but there are a lot of people out there, whatever your gender, right? This is Pride Month. Wellness is for every gender. We all need wellness. Whether you're a caregiver or not a caregiver, you need wellness. And it's so important to seek that. And what is wellness? Well, let me tell you, if you want to know what wellness is, it's not just, are you well? Join our session, because I define that for you, and you'll see wellness in a whole different light. All right. So let's get on with the show, shall we? And our next guest, I'll just hide that. There we go. Our next guest is actually an attorney who developed her elder law practice as a result of her experience as a caregiver and advocate for her late parents. And she focuses on helping older adults and their families find solutions to paying for care. And I know you all want to hear this one. We've talked about this throughout the week, and I know even on our session last night, you guys are excited. This is the one you wanted to hear. She's also a member of the National Academy of Elder Law Attorneys and the Hawaii Estate Planning Council. She serves on the boards of Kukuamau and the Hawaii Pacific Gerontology Society. And I had the honor of hearing her present at a panel recently, which is how I met Lori. Welcome, Lori Adamczyk. It's so nice to have you here. And I just loved your presentation so much. I walked up to her right after and said, you need to come on the show.
Thanks, Abby.
Oh, thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited to hear what you're going to share with us. But first, tell us a little bit about your caregiving journey.
Sure. I just want to say thank you to all the caregivers out there, because I really understand it is a thankless and oftentimes overwhelming job. Nobody understands what you're going through unless it's somebody else who's going through it as well.
Yeah.
Your friends can say, oh, I'm so sorry, I get it. They don't get it, right? The only people who get it are the people who are going through it. And
right.
I went through it many years ago, starting with my dad, who was diagnosed with leukemia and who we brought home with home hospice. After he passed away, my mom came home to live with us to help her kind of get through a period of grief. And at a certain point, she felt like she was well enough to go home. And within a week, she'd had a massive stroke and everything changed. And I thought, okay, this is a big challenge, but I'm a good problem solver. Law school helps you learn how to be a good problem solver. I had no clue. I had no idea.
An analytical mind means nothing when it comes to
care. It means nothing. Exactly. It means nothing, because the problems are problems you've never contemplated. You have no idea how to find the solutions. And on top of this was back when there was no Google. So it was calling everybody I knew who had, an older parent to find out what they did.
Wow.
I had like many of you probably, I had this parade of nurses, aides, and caregivers and occupational therapists and home health nurses in and out of the house every week. I had this gigantic mountain of medical claims paperwork that I just couldn't. I had to examine because, I'm an attorney. That's what I do. Yep. And then on top of that, even though I was lucky enough to have help with caregivers, I was preparing meals and helping with transfers. And every night I just throw myself into bed exhausted, thinking I had no time in this day for anything having to do with my own health.
Yeah.
And it is obviously of utmost importance that you care for yourself, because everything is riding on your shoulders. And if you don't have a backup plan and you go down, the whole ship goes down. And the person you're caring for, is left without, without somebody to help. And
Yep.
that's why planning is so important.
And it's funny that that weight that you carry takes a toll on you because we
Yes,
all carry it, whether we want to or not. We all carry that weight of caregiving and knowing that it rests on our shoulders, and
yes,
so that takes its toll on you. And managing that is probably more difficult than managing the caregiving duties. So
yeah,
thank you. Yeah,
yeah,
thank you for sharing that.
absolutely.
Really appreciate it, and appreciate that you understand and know that what caregivers go through and having gone through it yourself. So, so you have your elder law practice, and you understand what caregiver needs are. What are some of the things that caregivers really? What would you say is the number one thing that you find caregivers are missing? They're missing as
Well,
far as legal, what they need to do legally.
they don't understand that the sooner that they line up the legal, financial, and the personal care options and get some good advice on how to update them, how to uh, implement them, the better. And what we just talked about, create a backup plan. That's
Yeah.
probably the biggest thing that people don't think about. You might have a spouse caring for, an older spouse who's got dementia, and it's all riding on her shoulders, but she's 85 and nobody's taking care of her. And what if she goes down? So that backup plan is really vital.
Right.
So we look at basically a holistic vision of who it is that's being cared for and what their needs are. So not just the legal documents, but also, where are the finances? How are they titled? So we can make sure that
Right.
we can avoid probate. We can understand what's available to help pay for care as care needs grow. And very important in all of this is we have a very comprehensive quality of life home assessment that's conducted by our elder care coordinator, who is an experienced registered nurse case manager. And he's looking at what can we do to keep them safer at home if home continues to be an option. What kind of medical history do they have, and what kind of care needs do they have? And what kind of recommendations can we offer to help them connect with the resources and the programs that will help them get involved, get connected with the right kind of care, understand how to pay for it, and on top of that, have appropriate representatives, agents, we call them, or successor trustees to step up and help make decisions and speak for them if they're unable to speak for themselves.
That
That's
is an
the legal document
amazing
aspect of this.
That's an amazing support system right there. That's not even like just getting counseling or just that's a whole support system that a
Yeah,
caregiver absolutely
yeah,
needs. I mean, that's amazing that you put that in sort of that package out there because those are all the things that don't get done. And that
right.
awful word probate, right? That awful word where, things are going to happen. And if you don't get your things in order, one of the other things I heard from an elder lawyer is that it's good to update your will, even your power of attorney and all of those things, like every
Yes,
5 years. Is that right?
absolutely. In fact, the older people get, we do this with our clients every year because as their health condition changes and as they see how their family responds, who steps up, who steps back, they may want to make a change as to who's going to be on their medical power of attorney, because they don't want to appoint somebody who isn't really up to the task. They don't want to appoint somebody to be a financial power of attorney who it turns out has fallen behind in paying their bills or doesn't have the aptitude to
Right.
manage, their accounts. And oftentimes they don't know that until suddenly they have to start turning over some of the responsibility. And then they find out how this person is performing.
Right.
So it becomes even more important as you get older to dig those documents out and make sure that they say what you want them to say.
Yes.
And that's the way that you continue to have a voice, even if you become incapacitated. Your voice is honored by what's in those documents. So you need to make some time to address that with folks that can ask the right questions and help you document that.
Yeah, I say this all the time to our caregivers, and is that what are you going to do when you don't have a voice? And one of the things that we talk about, even in our sessions, is what is your care giving or your care receiving plan? Are you planning for your caregiving? Because we're all going to need a caregiver at one point in our life, and if you're not planning for that now, then you're going to find yourself in the situation that your parent or the person you're caring for now is in. They're not prepared. We don't know what's going to happen, and and as much as my father was very good about planning, I was shooting in the dark with both of them. He passed away a year and a half after I was caregiving for him, and I suddenly had to take everything over. Now, he had a lot in order, but I had to learn quick what else I needed. And I still look back in retrospect and think, I should have made sure that I got this taken care of. I should have made sure I got this taken care of better. And so I didn't realize all that was, I was in chaos. I went from calm to chaos, and I was operating.
I went through that too.
Right. And I'll tell you, you offered this support package that I wish I knew about. And I wish I had.
Well, I wish I'd had it too.
Right.
That's why
that would have helped so many. Yes.
That's why I'm committed to doing this, because I know how much I would have gained from having somebody to guide and advise me through all of this. So that's why I know people really they don't not just need legal documents. They need somebody to call when they don't know what to do. And that's one of the intrinsic benefits of this program that we offer. This is called life care planning, this holistic, comprehensive type of planning. Life care planning, it's happening on the mainland in increasing number of law firms who are bringing in social workers and registered nurses to work side by side with them. But I think the biggest value is having someone to call, because, and I hear it from our clients often, because they don't know what to do and where do I get an answer? And
who do I turn to?
Yeah. And sometimes it means we have to have family meetings. So we have a lot of family meetings, even on Zoom, and
I love that.
try to bring everybody into the discussion. And, invariably there's someone who is less committed or has less of an interest, but you work with what you got, and it helps to kind of bring the family together so that we're making decisions everybody agrees with.
I love that. One of the things we talk about in our sessions is I try to encourage our caregivers to form what I call their BOA, their board of advisors. And so make sure that you have a board of advisors, and this includes, doctors, maybe your spiritual leaders, and of course lawyers. And to make sure you have somebody that you talk to, because you're going to need that BOA. You're going to need that person to help you, advise you, and don't go in the dark. You don't need to go into this and not know anything. It's horrible when you don't, and you're shooting in the dark. So I tell people all the time, get your board of advisors together and use them, because it's going to make a big difference in the person you're caring for now in your situation in this journey. But also you establish this relationship for your care receiving plan and start planning for that now. Don't wait. Get everything in order now, and you can always update it.
Yeah, and planning early, the advantage to planning early is you have more options available to you. If you're planning in a crisis, your options are far more limited. And, even
I love
assisted
that.
living communities. A lot of assisted living communities, they're actually very attractive. Some of them, you feel like you're moving into the country club, but
Yep.
they're waiting lists. So,
Yep.
you're not going to be able to move in a crisis necessarily. Perhaps, though, if you put your name on a waiting list at some point in the future, before you need it, it'll come up and you'll have the opportunity. And if you're not ready, you put yourself back on the waiting list and say, I'm not ready yet. But it's the idea that you're thinking ahead rather than waiting until there's a crisis when it's the worst time to plan.
Yes. Yeah. And, we've all been taught that, you don't talk about this, you don't talk about that. And, especially here in Hawaii, we all
Yeah.
kind of keep it to ourselves. But this is not a time for that. This is a time where professional advice and professional guidance and support is what you need. Because if you don't
Yes.
get it, then you're going to look back and things are not going to work out. And I've heard a lot of horror stories of people who didn't get that and they lost everything. Or, they're homeless now. And I've talked to some homeless people that this is what's happened to them. So, yes, those are extreme. But in every situation that I've talked to, there was always a loss. And if you can prevent that in some way, financially, legally, do it, right? And this is
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
you want. I love that you have this life planning because that's so needed. It's so needed.
Well, thank you. I think that, advocacy is a very important element in all of this. So having, whether it's our care coordinator, our registered nurse case manager, or one of our attorneys advocating for you, speaking on your behalf when you or your family is feeling a little not so excited about doing that or feeling powerless, we can also kind of take away any negativity because now it's the professional advisors stepping in to seek a solution and not the daughter calling to complain. I remember well when my mom was in rehab, we used to take pastries up to the floor where she was for 3 weeks to the nursing staff almost every night when we showed up to see her, because it was our small way of saying thank you. And we wanted to be known as, oh, that's the family that always brings the donuts, rather than, oh, that's the daughter that's always complaining that mom's not getting cared for.
Right.
So little things like that, we can kind of deflect that negativity off the family, and they don't have to worry about having to, complain without knowing who to complain to or how to seek a solution.
Right. Complaining, worry, frustration, it accomplishes absolutely nothing except take a toll on you physically and affect even your organs. So your whole wellness is affected by it. And so, why not get people who can take that away? I love that you remove the negativity, because there's way too much negativity going on just in caregiving alone. And so you need to find those moments of joy, and I really love what you do. You guys, Lori Adamczyk with the Elder Law Practice of Rulon and Adamczyk, 808-393-6387. And, or you can go to just Rulon, Rullon, Rulon, Adamczyk.com and contact her team. You need this. I am so happy about what you have, and I know that you have the heart of a caregiver, and I feel like, again, I wish I had this, and I definitely am smarter for it moving forward now. However, not everyone is that lucky, so they could be very lucky to be able to contact you. So
thank you, Savvy.
Thank you so much for coming on,
so much.
and for your heart
Absolutely.
as a caregiver. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. Aloha.
Aloha.
Wow. Mahalo, Lori, for coming on the show and for all that you do for caregivers. Really, just amazing. Can't thank you enough for that. I think every caregiver out there, when you guys hear this or see this or listen to this, please contact her. There's nothing that's going to come from not contacting contacting Lori, and a lot that can come from contacting her, and a lot that it can save you in frustration and worry and grief, and not have to deal with that loss. So knowing that you have that, all of those things arranged, so important. Look, if you're not caregiving right now, do you as a person have all of their things that you need in order? Not just your will. This is everything to do with your life and your life planning. Knowing that we are all going to need a caregiver at one point in our life. We're all going to need to be cared for. And, let's be realistic. Not everyone can be taken care of at home in place. Not everyone can. You can't afford that. It's very costly, and it's costly not just in finance, but it's costly on the toll it will take on those caring for you. So think about all of the things that are out there that need planning. Get your list together and give Lori a call. 808-393-6387. One more time, 808-393-6387. All right. Woo. Wow. What a great show. This is a really important information that I know you all needed. And again, I put it out there for you because I needed it. I didn't have it. So I hope this touches a caregiver in need, and I hope this information helps you. All right. And now, with all of that hard work for our brain, a big announcement. This is our big announcement. I'm super excited. All right. Let's see if I can add this to the stream. There it is. I'm even going to let it be the full screen. Our second annual Shine a Light Walk is on. So last year we had our Shine a Light Walk, charity walk at Windward Mall. It's an evening walk. It's a glow walk. We got glow sticks. We have so much fun. And it was so great at Windward Mall last year. We are doing it again. This year it will be on Saturday, July 22nd at the Windward Mall. Oh, I have to take that off. There we go. Now you can see it. And it'll be at the Windward Mall from 5 to 8 p.m. I am super excited about this year. This year, we are calling out to all, we're making a call out to all of the companies, to all of the groups, to all of the churches, to all of the families to form a team and help us to fundraise. It's just so much fun. Last year, we walked around the mall and we took selfies and we had our glow sticks and we had different challenges that you had to do on the route. So it's just a lot of fun. And Harry, this is the best part of our walk. It's air conditioned, nice and cool. When do you get to walk and be in air conditioning? And also it's inside a mall. It's all indoors. So it doesn't matter what the weather is. You're not going to get rained on, and it's safe. So it's family friendly, safe for you to walk through. You can bring your kupuna, you can bring your carry, and it's wheelchair accessible. So bring everyone, bring the family, come and take a walk. You can register right now on gab808.org/shine, or just go to gab808.org and know that you can just register. Just get in on the walk and help us raise funds by forming teams. So get your whole office together, get your whole group together, get that scout troop together, and please help us to raise funds to support caregivers. It's just a lot of fun and a great excuse to get out in an evening, have a good time. And if you're not a caregiver and you know someone who is, especially in your family, let them have the night to take the walk. Sponsor them. Go and take care and give them the night off. Go in and take care of the person they care for and let them have the night to do this, because this is really about the caregivers and it's a time for them to shine. The reason why we call it Shine the Light is because when you're caregiving, you get lost in the dark. You become invisible and isolated. And so by shining a light, we're showing caregivers with each light that we care. So each glow stick that's there shows a caregiver that we care. And we want to spread that awareness out to everyone out there. So help us support this. And of course, if you'd like to be a sponsor as well, just contact me personally. But it's just going to be such a fun event. It was so much fun last year. I was waiting all year for it to come back again. So we're really excited. We're so glad we confirmed that we're going to do it at Windward Mall. And yeah, so join us. What a day we're going to have. It's on a Saturday, 5 to 8, July 22nd. put that date on your calendar. All right. And a reminder, you can get connected to our weekly online support sessions every Tuesday evening at 8 p.m. and Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Oh, sorry. No, my bad. We no longer have the Saturday mornings. We'll have to correct that script. And so we're only doing it on Tuesday evenings at 8 p.m. now. So Tuesday evenings at 8 p.m. online, go to our website, gab808.org, and you'll see a button there to just click on to the session at any time. So that's the easiest way to do it. Join us. Join a community of caregivers just for you. We're all just like you. We all get it. We're all going through it, and we're there to support one another. So no professionals. This isn't, we're not professionals, and definitely not a psychological kind of a support group. This is just a safe space for caregivers. I hope you enjoyed the show, and a big heartfelt mahalo to our guests today, both Al Kushner and for Lori Adamczyk as well. Thank you so much for being on. Next week on our show, we will be having Jennifer and Hope from Kukua Mau, I believe. I was supposed to put that up and I didn't, so my bad on that. But a great show next week. But check out our Facebook page because you'll see the announcement for that. Really excited to talk with them. And my co-host Lonnie will be back. So check us out. Set a reminder to tune in every Wednesday at noon right here on the Caring Caregiver Show, brought to you by Give Me a Break. And of course, mahalo to our sponsor, Givers Guides. And it's okay if you miss us live. Don't worry about it. You can check out our podcast on Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, Google, any platform that you can think of. We're on there. Or just go to our website, thecaringcaregivershow.com, right there on the screen right now. It's caringcaregivershow.com. And in the meantime, remember to breathe. In fact, let's just all take a breath right now because I know you need it. So I want you to just breathe in through your nose. Breathe in all of that good gratitude and positive energy and release all the negativity through your mouth. Breathe in positive. Hold it and release all the negative. One last time, breathe in and breathe out. Here's hoping you're finding more joy in your caregiving every week right here on the Caring Caregiver Show. Thanks again for tuning in, and please always be kind to yourself and to all who are caring. Aloha, everyone.